let's see here. Let's see. This shit is going on. All right. All right, it was popping. Hold on, let me try to do the Facebook shit. Hold on, what was this Facebook shit? Put it on Facebook. Let people know I'm streaming. Live right now. I don't know why this shit don't change. What up? What's going on? You out?
Yeah.
All right, cool. King Who said, what up? What up, man? I'm trying to get this live stream popping right now. Hold on. Give me a second. All right. We are good to go. All right, King Who said what? Can you hear me? Is everything good? What's good, people? What's going on? So, real quick, what I wanted to talk about real quick was how to avoid being thirsty in the game. Okay, because, a thing that trips up a lot of dudes, Jimmy, what's popping, man? What's going on? What trips up a lot of guys is when you're acting thirsty. Beersford, what's going on, man? And see, it's hard to not act thirsty when you are actually thirsty. You feel me? So what happens is dudes get thirsty because they don't have enough, women that they're dealing with. They don't have other things in their life that's going on. So basically, the way to avoid being thirsty, being a thirsty dude, is a couple things. One, you have to basically have shit going on in your life. You feel what I'm saying? You got to have other shit going on besides chicks, because if you don't have anything going on, what's up, Daniel Karu? What's popping? If you don't have anything going on, and then what happens is that you spend a lot of your time, wondering, thinking about shit, not having nothing to do. And the thing is, a lot of times guys, when they have nothing else to do besides thinking about getting chicks, they end up being thirsty because nothing's really happening with the chicks. And at the same time that women are sort of clouding their mind. So it's like when they get around a girl, it's like, yo, I have to make something happen with this girl. I have to get her number. Shit has to go down. Shamari, what's going on, man? How's it going? But yeah, it's like you gotta get shit. You gotta have shit going on in your life, man. Because if you don't, you're gonna be thirsty when you're around women, because women are gonna be the thing that's going on in your life, right? Rolex experience was popping, man. Another thing too is like that guys gotta understand about why you'll be thirsty or act thirsty around chicks is because you don't have any fuck buddies, man. I be trying to tell you guys, you gotta get some fuck buddies under your belt, because when you got some chicks that you fucking, right, here and there, you're not gonna be thirsty talking to other chicks. Now, this is the thing. If you're just trying to get some chicks under your belt, what up, Machu? Upstairs, what's going on? If you're trying to get some chicks under your belt, just try to get chicks who are fuckable, meaning girls who are that you're attracted enough to that you can fuck. They don't have to be dimes. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of guys mess up because they're looking for the dimes to fuck all the time. Like, oh, I ain't gonna talk to her. I'm not gonna try to mess with her. I'm not gonna try to holler at her unless she's a dime. Now you can do that later on after after you're not thirsty and you got some chicks under your belt. But if you're a thirsty dude, Dino, what's poppin'? James, what's going on? If you're a thirsty dude and you haven't had any sex in like 6 months, 7 months, or you're still a virgin, you need to fuck somebody. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to get a chick who's fuckable. Just get a chick who you think is decent looking, holler at her, holler at these other girls, and get some sex under your belt, man. Because once you have that sexual desire and you want to make it happen and you get that release off. Andre K, what's going on? Mr. Merville was popping. After you get that shit popping or you get it out your system, you're not going to be as thirsty when you're talking to other women and, the other chicks you really want. You understand what I'm saying? So that's, I just want to let y'all know about that, man. Because a lot of times dudes, they get, you so thirsty that when you get to a girl that you're trying to get shit popping with, that energy is there. You seem needy. You seem like you need to make it happen. Like right now, shit got to go down. And that shit a lot of times scares women off because they feel that needy energy. And they're like, this guy is fucking thirsty as hell. So, have shit going on in your life and also get some fuck buddies under your belt and you should be fine. Rolex Experience, you said, if a girl tries to make you jealous, do you react or not react? Because if you react, it shows that you care for the girl. If you don't react, it shows you don't care. Well, this is the thing. You got to stop being jealous about shit. First of all, because I was talking about this on my Facebook the other day, and people didn't. Some people they understood what I was saying, and some people didn't. I was basically saying that jealousy is a learned trait. And the thing is, people are like, well, no, jealousy is natural, and it's natural for people to be jealous. And I'm like, no, it's not natural. You're taught that. This is what you're taught. You're taught to be attached to things and to people. You understand? So then since you're attached to those things or people, when you feel like those things or people are going to be taken away from you, that's when you get jealous. So if you're with a girl and, you see her flirt with some other dude and you really like that girl, you have an attachment to her. So now you get jealous because you think that guy is going to take that girl away from you. But if you know how to enjoy women and enjoy things and experiences in life without clinging to them, then you won't be attached. So if you're not attached, then you won't be jealous. You feel what I'm saying? So you got to, it's some deep shit. The thing is, the more you're attached, the more jealous you're going to be. You understand what I'm saying? If you drop your attachments, you won't have jealousy. It's all connected. So you learn how to be attached, even from when you was a kid, when you was a baby. Your parents gave you some toys. You're like, this is my toy. Then if you got like a new brother or sister, and then your parents probably want you to share that toy, or you're not getting as much attention as you used to. So now you get jealous. You feel like that toy is being taken away from you. You feel like the attention you get from your parents are being taken away from you because you've been indoctrinated to be attached to shit. You see what I'm saying? So you got to understand about that jealousy shit, man. Like, don't get caught up in all that nonsense. And it's not easy to do, because I used to get jealous all the time too until I realized the truth. You feel what I'm saying? And the truth is that the only reason you're jealous is because you're attached to whatever that thing is that you think is gonna go away from you. If you're not attached, you won't be jealous. All the feelings and emotions that you feel is, like, it's triggered by some shit that you're attached to. You understand? But people think that it's like a natural thing, but it's not a natural thing. It's like this. Let's say if somebody in your family died, right? You'd be sad, you'd be crying. And this is gonna sound crazy what I'm saying, but you'll see what I'm saying. You'll be sad, you'll be crying, you'll be upset, you'll be depressed probably, and all that other good stuff, right? Now, the reason why is because you're attached to that person in your family, right? Now, if I came and told you, yo, some dude on 42nd Street just got killed by a moving car or something, right? You probably just be like, oh, that's fucked up. And you won't even think about it after that. You won't cry. You won't, be upset. You won't be depressed. Why? Because you're not attached to that person. You understand what I'm saying? So the same thing happened. Both people died. One you were attached to, one you weren't attached to. So since you weren't attached to this other person, you didn't feel the thing. Since you were attached to the other person, you felt the shit. You understand? And it's not saying ignore your, what's going on, but you got to understand that it's attachment. You got to understand that when you enjoy shit, you enjoy it on a non-clinging basis. So you enjoy shit while it's here, and when it's gone, and then you enjoy something else. You feel what I'm saying? We got a few people up in the room. Clutch Entertainment was popping. King, who said what? You said it's hard to approach women. Why is it hard to approach women? What's so hard about it? It's hard. It's only hard when you are outcome dependent. You understand? James Britton, what's popping? You said true man, you got to learn what you have learned. You have to unlearn what you learned. He said I'm working on that, and you got to be chilling unattached. You know, it's funny. I always tell people, um, look up look up Anthony DeMello, look up Alan Watts, look up Till Swan. You know, they got some deep game about life and spirituality and stuff. And I was talking about this also on my Facebook page. I was saying that this dude Anthony DeMello, he described life as like a symphony, so like an orchestra, right? So when you have the orchestra, the orchestra is continuously playing the melody. You feel what I'm saying? So when a person comes in your life, when that girl comes in your life, all that happens is the orchestra plays a different melody. Now when she leaves, the orchestra's still playing. Then another girl comes and then it plays a different melody, right? And then when she leaves, the orchestra is still playing. So the orchestra does not stop when people leave and go. Do you understand what I'm saying? But see, what a lot of people are doing, they're trying to hold on to that melody and they want the orchestra to play that song over and over again. And then when that song leaves or that song is done, they're upset. That's how people think. You understand? We've been conditioned to be attached to shit like that instead of just enjoying the song as it's there now. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Andre K, you said jealousy never helps the situation, just gives girls reason to make you jealous. Yeah, and this is the thing. If you if you're not affected by that, if you understand the truth that you don't need a chick to be happy, then you're not gonna be jealous when all that other shit is going down. You understand? You enjoy women while they're there, while everything is, going the way it's supposed to go, and then you leave it at that. You understand? It's something that takes a while. Some people get it instantly. Some people it takes a while to get, but hopefully you'll get it. You feel me? Hopefully you will get it. Mr. Kruguts, you said, do I bang chicks in relationships? If they're in an open relationship, yeah. You understand? Like, I'm not really too tough on banging chicks who have boyfriends because a lot of these dudes, man, like if see, this is the thing. If dudes were like, if you fucked the guy's girl, right, and if he had a problem with it, he actually did what he should do, which is go to his girl and talk to her, then I'll be fucking chicks all day who have boyfriends, right? The problem is when you fuck a chick who has a boyfriend, the boyfriend wants to come after you because he's a fucking simp. You understand what I'm saying? And he doesn't understand, he doesn't understand what the deal is. You understand? It's not your fault that his girl's fucking you. His girl chose to fuck you. You understand? But I just say stay away from it because dudes, they're a lot of dudes, they're not smart enough to understand that. King Who said, well, you say you're trying every day to approach, but the girls you see they're in groups or on their phones talking, it's hard approaching a group of women. Well, this is the thing. I talk about this in my DVD, which all of you should have, which is called How to Pick Up and Date Multiple Women Seminar. You can go to MrLocario.com to get that right now. So when you approach a group of women, right, all you need to do first is interact with the whole group. So let's say it's like 3 or 4 girls, you at like a bar or party or whatever, and you just say, hey ladies, what's going on? How y'all been? How's your night going? Blah, blah, blah. And, you introduce yourself to all of them. And let's say there's that one girl you want to talk to in the group. You talk to the whole group just for like maybe 2 or 3 minutes. And then what happens is you pull the chick to the side or you start talking to her more. And then you just keep it moving. You understand? You just keep talking in that instance. Now, you're going to have situations where you're going to talk to chicks who they're just going to be rude to you, meaning you'll be in a situation where you're like at a bar or something and then you see 2 chicks talking and they'll be on some, we're trying to have a private conversation, which is bullshit. You're in a public place having a private conversation, which is nonsense. And a lot of times I still even, uh, play around with that. I'll be like, oh, so you're having a private conversation in public. I was like, how do you do that? I'm interested. And then they'll actually be talking to me, and now I'm fucking talking to them, the chicks. Sometimes I won't even bother because the vibe is so negative. I just keep it moving. I'll be like, okay, cool, do your thing, and I walk away to the next chick. But the thing you got to understand is you have to be bold enough to go and talk to these women and not be scared of the outcome. If you're not scared of the outcome, you will be able to talk to more girls. But the way not to be scared of the outcome is you have to put your ego in check. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if a girl is being rude to you when you first approach her and you are not putting your ego in check, you feel fucked up. You understand? Because you're like, oh, I want to go talk to this girl. Okay, I'm about to go talk to her. I'm about to go talk to this group of girls, and they're being, assholes. Then you feel like, oh, you feel bad. You feel like, what the fuck? You understand? But the thing is, if you don't care, if you don't, make the outcome worry you, then you do whatever the fuck you want. You're free. You don't worry about what other people are thinking about you. Because every time, guys, they have this little thing in the back of their head where, let's say if their friends are with them, they're like, I want to look cool in front of my boys. I want to look cool to myself. Fuck looking cool. Anytime, I'll tell you this. Anytime you're about to approach a girl, say to yourself, fuck looking cool. Okay? Fuck all that bullshit. Just fucking do it. You understand? Fuck looking cool. Because that feeling of wanting to look cool is the shit that's stopping you. Because you're like, oh, what if I don't look cool? Atlas Omega, what's poppin'? Ryan, yeah, he says Till Swan is the truth. Yeah, Till Swan is fine as hell, too. That's the thing. Y'all Google Till Swan. I'd give her the fucking business. Machu, you said, what does it mean if a girl says she doesn't want to be in a relationship? Well, sometimes it means she doesn't want to be in a relationship. But this is the funny thing is that women, they say that, and then 10 minutes later, if they feeling you or they're feeling the vibe, and now her feelings about whatever changes, like chicks change their mind like the wind. So 1 minute she might say, I'm not feeling like being in a relationship. You start dating her, and then 3-4 weeks later, she want to fucking be exclusive with you and all that dumb shit. You feel me? So, you take it with a grain of salt. But a lot of times there's some women who, they don't want to be in a relationship. They just want to, fuck around. But also, if they find a guy who they feel is like, oh, this guy's awesome, they'll want to be in a relationship with him. You understand? It's really that simple. A chick will not turn down a quality guy for a relationship, even if she's like, oh, I don't feel like being in a relationship. She's not gonna turn that shit down. You said a girl flaked on you today, but you're so dope and busy that I almost forgot that we were gonna meet up. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you got shit popping, that's not gonna be a thing. You feel me? That's not gonna be a thing. A lot of times, the reason why a guy gets so upset about being rejected, a guy gets so upset about shit not working out with a chick, is because that has been the thing that they seen as super valuable in their life. Like, they don't got nothing else going on. They don't got no other shit popping with no other chicks. They're not, busy. It's like, me, I'll be busy like a motherfucker to the point where, that's why, like, I don't really like to fuck with women unless they're 100% cooperative, because I don't have time for flakes. You feel what I mean? I don't have time for all that shit. So as soon as the chick flake, I'm good. I'm done. Dan, you said, can you still be with a girl without having sex? Due to me not having a place, I'm stagnant to gaming chicks because I ain't got a place unless I can still fuck with chicks without sex being involved. Listen, look. And you said, but worry is that girl will find sex. You worrying about a girl finding sex somewhere else. Listen, don't think about, like, what you're doing is you're making your actions, are being dictated by what you think is going to happen later. What you need to think about now is interacting with women, going on dates and trying to hook up, and then you figure out what you can do to smash. So what I would say is, you can, I don't know what your financial situation is, but there, if you find a cheap hotel or you go back to the girl's place, so try to fuck with girls who have their own place, then you can make it happen. You understand what I'm saying? So you can make that shit happen. So are you living with your parents or something? Is that what it is? You understand what I'm saying? But you can make it happen. You could find a place to do it. You can do it at her place or get a hotel, or even if you have a friend who has their own place, you know what I'm saying? Slide that dude like 20, $30. Be like, listen, let me borrow your spot for a minute, my nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's get this popping. Let's get this popping. So you said you were still banging your ex, and she has a boyfriend now, and she lied to you and said she wasn't with anyone. Should you feel bad, or what's the deal? Well, this is the thing, man. Like, you got to make that decision if you think it's worth it to keep banging her. Because I'm telling you now, man, these dudes out here are super simps, and I don't want nothing bad to happen to you if that super simp finds out and wants to come in and holler at you. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, it's terrible. Dudes are simps like a motherfucker. Danny, you said it will be a waste of your investment. What do you mean? What do you mean? Zolani, you from South Africa? That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what I love about the internet, man. You can reach every fucking where. You feel me? King Who said what? You said, how do you approach in the street? Man, y'all be doing these broad ass questions. If you go to my Locario fan page, I think I have. Do I still have that? I probably don't even have that one up. But I had a whole video about approaching chicks in the street. But basically, to make it effective when you're approaching chicks in the street, because this is what I think. I personally like approaching chicks in the street is personally my least favorite thing to do with picking up chicks. But sometimes you have no choice because you're walking and you see that bad chick, and that's the only opportunity you get. I usually like to pick up chicks, when I go to events, parties, at a bar, at a club, whatever. It's more fun for me in that environment. But I do pick up girls in the street, and but it's like it's a little bit more annoying for me personally. But the thing that I found most effective, technically when we're talking about picking up a chick in the street, and this is a couple of tips that you guys can use, is when you're approaching a girl in the street, right? Don't come at her from the back. Okay? Either walk to the side of her, like walk with her, or if you're walking towards a girl, let's say she's walking to you, you're here, she's here, and y'all walking towards each other, right? You stop in front of her and start talking. You understand what I'm saying? So either walk with her, like y'all are walking together like this, or if y'all coming together, you go in front of her and you start talking. Because it's easier to, have a girl stop when you stop her in front of her, or it's easier to have that conversation as you're walking with her, because a lot of times you're in the street and y'all guys are walking together. You understand? It's hard to, if you're standing here and a girl is walking past and you try to holler at her while you're still standing here, she's already past you. You feel me? She's gone. So it's always good to walk with her or stop in front of her. You understand or stop her in front of you. And then you start, saying what you got to say. And when you're on the street, you got to get to the point as quick as fucking possible. Don't be lollygagging and shit, because they know why you stopping them. And if she actually stops, it's a good sign, because she's basically like, waiting for the shit to go down. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of times if a chick doesn't want to, talk to you in the street, she's not going to stop, or she's going to quickly be like, oh, I'm in a rush, I can't go, blah, 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 blah. You feel what I'm saying? So if you get her to stop, that's a good sign. Or if you're walking with her and you're talking to her and she seems receptive to you talking to her, that's a good sign. If a chick is sort of ignoring you, or she's running away, or you understand that's the sign she's not interested. You said, do you think it's Barba747? You said, do you think a girl will see it as rude if you tell her to not waste your time or stand you up right before a date? Well, no, that's the thing. When when you're trying to set up a date, when you're trying to set up a date, all you need to do is before the day of the date or on the day of the date. Let's say you're supposed to meet a chick, Friday night. You hit her up Thursday evening or Friday morning, and just be like, "Hey, what's good? Are we still good for Friday at 7?" You understand? And then usually the chick will be like, "Yeah, of course we're still on," or she'll come up with some, "Oh, I can't. Can we do it another day?" Yada yada yada. You understand? So now you don't waste your time like trying to go out to meet some chick that and shit's not gonna happen, because this is the fucked up part about it. Sometimes if you say to a girl, "Hey, let's meet up at 7 on Friday at this place," and you show up, some girls will just not show up. They won't call you, they won't say nothing, they just won't show up. So now you wasted time going all the way out there for nothing. You understand? So you gotta make sure you have that confirmation call and make sure that she confirms. But you don't want to be on the phone with a chick talking about, "Yo, girl, yeah, we supposed to meet on Friday, so I just want to make sure, you ain't wasting my fucking time, bitch." You feel what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? You don't want to be on that. Look, all you got to do is, "Hey, listen, what's good? Looking forward to seeing you. Are we still on for 7 on Friday?" Yes, cool, no, whatever. You feel what I'm saying? That's it. Estudian Chozo. You guys have some interesting names. I can't even pronounce it. You said, what does it mean if she says you're attractive, but she's not really into you? That means you're just probably not her type, or she doesn't feel the attraction to you. You understand? Like, and I did a video about this. I'm saying you could be attractive, or a girl can think you're cute and still not fuck with you. This is why I always think it's funny with these dudes is like, "Oh, it's all about looks." I'm like, a chick could think you cute and still not fuck with you. You feel what I'm saying? A chick could think you're, handsome as hell, and she'd be like, "Well, yeah, you're cute," but for women, it's a combination of shit, man. Culture Entertainment, he said, "What do I think about dating bisexual chicks?" I like bisexual chicks. Fuck it. You know what I mean? That's good for threesome situations too. You feel me? So, you know. You said, "What's the next Bad Boy Show topic?" I don't even know. Y'all gotta give me a topic. We're gonna do the Bad Boy Show on Sunday. I don't even know what the topic is yet. Let me know if y'all have a good topic for me on that shit. Prospect Boy was popping. Yeah, like I was saying, slide your friends some paper. You like, let me hold let me hold down your house for like 2 hours while I smash this chick. You feel me? If you ain't got your own place, holla at your boy. Holla at your boys. Be like, "Listen, yo, I got this chick. I'm trying to, make something happen. Let's make it go down." Andre K, you say you take chicks to $50 telly when you want to smash. You said always ask them for 20 because if that that hose I'm gonna smash, I can't lay every time. What? Atlas Omega, you said my video "Strike While the Pussy is Hot" is so true. Yeah, that's what I tell guys, man. You gotta get them when they ready, man. I remember I went to this meetup event, and I met this chick there, and she was like, we were talking, and I could tell she was feeling it or whatever. So I literally spoke to her for maybe like half an hour, maybe 40 minutes, and then we was out that spot back at her place in like 20 minutes. We went in the cab, and that was that. Cause she was ready. She was ready to make it happen. You gotta know when a chick is ready to make it go down. And the hard part is chicks are so passive that if you don't realize it, you're gonna miss it. You're gonna miss that window of opportunity. Jimmy McLeod, he said, "Do women like to be dominated? Period, not just in the bedroom. I'm a bouncer in the DMV area, and women would come up to me and say, if I was to do X, Y, or Z, would you put me out out the club for it?" Well, women like masculinity, and you know, men we're dominant. You understand? We and women are submissive by nature. You feel what I'm saying? Um, men and women, like men also are submissive in certain situations, and women can be also dominant in certain situations. But generally, the men are the more dominant, the women are the more submissive. So they're going to be attracted to that dominant man because it basically shows, or it brings out her feminine side. Think about when you think about if you have two girls, right? One girl, let's say she has a skirt on, she's really cute. She has some nice high heels on. She smells like flowers, really pretty face, speaks in a really like nice soft tone and everything. Now imagine her, and then imagine a chick who looks like, you know, like a butch lesbian. You feel what I'm saying? Which one are you gonna be more attracted to? Which one do you think is gonna be, make you give you that feeling of, yeah, I want to engage with you? You feel what I'm saying? The more feminine chick. You understand? So the same thing happens for women, is that when they're around the more masculine guy, it makes them feel like, yeah, I want to fuck with that dude. You know? Mr. Crush Guts, you said, have I ever thought about writing a book to publish? Dude, I got books on my site, man. You gotta go. Dude, I got. Wait, let me see. Let me see if I could grab one of my books. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. You see this book right here? Greatest book of all time. That's my book. I self-published this. You feel me? So you get the ebook at MrLocario.com. I got like a couple of hard copies left. Whoever wants the hard copy, right? Because dude's been hitting me up for the hard copies. I think I got maybe like 6 of these left. I got to get some more of the hard copies. You feel what I'm saying? If you want the hard copy, email me at MrLocario.com and I'll tell you how you can get the hard copy. But the hard copy is going to cost you more than the ebook version. But you can get the ebook version now at MrLocario.com. You feel me? Armstrong, for you, what's popping? What's going on? Femdi, what's going on, man? You said a bad boy show topic could be screening women and wife material. Yeah, we could do that. Like, what makes a chick wife material? That's some real shit. Because a lot of dudes be wifing up. Let me write that down. A lot of dudes be wifing up some goofy ass. I'm like, yo, y'all gotta chill with that. Let me write that down. Wifey material. All right. You probably do that shit. But yeah, you gotta be careful about them chicks you wifing, man. Mecha Soldier, what's popping, my dude? What's going on? You said how many women is good to approach a day? At least like 25 to 30, truthfully, if you really want to if you really want to get it in. If you really want to get it in, you got to approach a shitload of women, because you have to get that. You got to make it a habit. You understand? Because once it's a habit, it's going to be less and less anxiety. It's going to be less and less of a scary thing. It's almost like, think of your body as a machine. You have to sort of program into you that this is what you do. This is what goes down, so that you're always on. You can just at any moment you see a chick, boom, you're there. Because the reason why it's hard most of the time is because of the hesitation. You hesitate so much because you're not used to doing it. See, when you're used to doing it, it's like second nature. Something almost like a reflex. You understand? Chan Aguilar, you said, is there a right way to slide into a girl's DMs? Look up my video, how to holler at chicks on social media, on my channel. And I talked about that a little bit in there. But yeah, it's crazy. OCFL was good, man. Jamar, Jamar, you want a hard copy? Anybody that want hard copies of this book, email me at ask Mr. Locario at Gmail. So ask Mr. Locario at gmail.com, and then I'll send you the info on how to get that done. Because I gotta mail them out to you. You feel what I'm saying? But I only got like 4 or 5 left, so if you guys want to do that, you gotta do that fast. You feel me? Show out, boys. What's going on? You said last week you was flirting with your crush, and she was letting you put what you was. She was letting you put her hand on her legs, licking her lips. Okay, that's good. That's showing interest and shit. Bossman023, you said you've been talking to this girl for about a month and she stayed at your crib with you once before and she didn't fuck. She's staying over again tomorrow. If she don't fuck, should you cut her off? Okay, see, this is what you guys got to do when you have a girl coming over your crib. Usually, she knows what the deal is. You understand? Usually, she's gonna smash and make it happen, right? Now, you're gonna have certain girls who they wanted to do it and then they got to your place and then they changed their mind for whatever reason. And sometimes, what you can do to change that, and I have this in my my video program, which is called The Ultimate Guide on Getting Girls Back to Your Place. I was basically saying that you have to make sure that your house or your apartment or whatever is inviting to the chick, meaning it has to be clean as fuck. It has to smell nice. It has to be in an environment where she's going to feel comfortable. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if she doesn't, that's going to make her not want to fuck with you. You understand? Like, I remember I had this chick come over my crib one time that I met at this bar. And I was like, fuck, I didn't even clean up my fucking room and nothing. So she comes back and the room was just a mess. And then she was like, yeah, I think I'm going to go. It's getting late. And I was like, and I knew that was the reason why she didn't want to fuck with me, because my house looked like shit at the time. You feel what I'm saying? So I always tell dudes, make sure you clean your house up. But also, let's say you have your house clean, everything is fine, everything's cool, and she's still fronting. What I say is, if a girl first comes over your house, she doesn't do it, then okay, fine. She didn't fucking do it, right? Now, if she's trying to come over again, or she's trying to come through and you're trying to let her come through, before she gets there, you have to blatantly tell her, like, just straight up, be like, listen, if she's like, oh, hey, I could come by your place, be like, listen, that's cool, but if you come over, we need to have sex. Like, that's it. If you're not trying to have sex, don't come over. Tell her straight like that. Straight like that. Straight like that. And then let's say she's like, okay, and then she actually comes over, and either one of two things is gonna happen. She's gonna have sex with you, or she's not gonna have sex with you. Right? Now, if she doesn't have sex with you, that's when you cut her off. That's when she's done. It's over. That is when it's over. You said, how do you handle stalker chicks? What do you mean? What is it? What is the chick stalking you? How is she stalking you? What do you mean? What is she doing? You said, what is the limit of girls to date at the same time? I usually say 3. 3, 4. 4 is like pushing it, but rotating 3 is good at any given time. You want 3. You can have a 4th one in rotation to substitute for one if one of the 3 fall off. But usually 3 to 4 is like the maximum that you want to be dealing with at any one time. You feel what I'm saying? Andre, you said a good topic is the importance of telling women no. Yeah, it's true. You got to tell them no sometimes, man. I gotta do that one too. Atlas, you said I should do the importance of having a social circle. I actually did that already. If you go to Bad Boy membership, if you're a Bad Boy member, I have a whole program on how to create a social circle, because that's very important. You feel me? Shamar, you said do I ever listen to KT the Art Degree? No, I never heard of that. Raymond Friendly, you was like, why was uh, a girl talking BS on those videos, and why can't women keep it 100? So he talking about those videos. I had a video where it was titled "Why Women Use You," and I had another one where I was talking about like the type of men women like. I mean, the type of men women chase. And so, I'm talking to the lady behind the camera, and dude's just like, "Yo, why is she saying all this stuff and she ain't keeping it real and she keep interrupting you and all that?" And see, the reason why I like doing those videos, and I want to do more. I actually have a video too of me and my sister arguing. I forgot what the name of it is, but some of y'all might have saw it. But the reason why I like to do videos like that, talking to women too, is because I want you guys to see how women think and how their thought process, and also in real time see, you know, what you deal with when you're interacting with women, because there's certain things that you're going to learn when you dig deeper into what's actually going on. You understand what I'm saying? And this is a certain level of game that I think a lot of people don't understand. See, there's this stuff that I tell you and that I'm explaining to you that you can learn. And then there's the things you can learn by observing. And I think a lot of times, especially, guys don't observe what's going on. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you have to observe literally everything that's happening. You understand what I'm saying? And then so when you observe, you get a deeper understanding of the game, because what's being said is important, but also what's being done is important. And you have to understand what's being done. Like, I'll give you an example. I have a lot of people who email me or ask me like, "Hey, Mr. Locario, how do you, um, run a business, or how do you get things going, or how did you get, what you got going on, or whatever, right? Or how do you like?" I even had a dude ask me, because this other guy, he was starting up his channel, and he was saying that he wanted to answer questions from people who watch his stuff and everything like that. So he was like, "Yo, how do you do that?" Right? So I was basically telling him, but he didn't even need to ask me. He could just see what I'm doing. So, like, for example, every time you guys see a video of me, you notice most of the videos at the end, I have a thing that says, "Yo, click the link below and then send me a question." You feel what I'm saying? And then so if he was watching that, he'd be like, oh, "Okay, well, when I do my videos at the end, I could just put something that says, send me a question." You see what I'm saying? So it's about not just seeing what people are saying, but you have to see what people are doing. You understand what I'm saying? In order to get yourself to that other level. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times when guys, they say, "I don't understand what's up with these women. They keep messing with these dudes who just fuck them and ignore them, or they just, do whatever they want." So I'm saying, listen, instead of listening to women saying, "Yeah, we want guys who are going to treat us nice," if you're actually looking at what's going on, if you're observing what's going on, you would say, "Yo, I noticed that this guy, that guy, and that guy, when they get with girls, they just do their own thing. They just are free flowing with it, and these chicks are all over them. So how about I implement that into my shit?" So you got to observe what's going on. You understand what I'm saying? Because the observation is going to give you that next level of what you should know what to do. Because the thing is that, like, let's say, for example, like someone like Donald Trump or something. Like, I don't really like Donald Trump like that, but I observe what he does, right? And there's an observation to be made of him being very outspoken and saying some controversial shit, or saying something crazy, or whatever it is you want to say to get attention. And that intention brings about certain, things, and then those things make him more money and yada yada yada. So a person who's saying, you know what, I want to garner some attention, right? What do I do to get that going? Then you see somebody doing certain things, and that certain thing will get them attention. You feel what I'm saying? It's gonna get you some attention. So you got to peep what is being done. You understand? Like my dude, Tommy Sotomayor. If y'all watch him, he does a lot of controversial shit, and then that controversial stuff gets him attention, and that attention, makes him get bigger and bigger. You feel what I'm saying? So you got to peep the game. Clutch and the Team, you say you posted your podcast and would love some feedback. Yeah, send me. Go to Ask Mr. Locario at Gmail and send me a link, and I'm gonna check it out. But that's good that you making the podcast happen. Mr. DC Comics, you said, can you have a great date without having cool clothes or a lot of money? What are some good date ideas if the money is tight? Well, this is the thing. You don't, with your clothes, and I talk about this, I have my audio program on the Bad Boy membership called How to Improve Your Appearance, is that you don't have to have expensive clothes, whatever. You just have to have clothes that fit you, clothes that you're comfortable in, clothes that are clean, you understand? And, going on dates, it ain't a lot of money. Going fucking cheap ass dates. I talk about that in my audio program, How to Spend $10 or Less on Dates. And you can get that at Bad Boy membership also. You go on dates, you go to, you can go to the park when it's like nice outside, go to a park, go to street fair. When it's not that nice outside, go to the museum, go somewhere to get a drink or whatever. There's all these different things that you can do that doesn't cost a lot of money. And on top of that, you got to understand, when you're going on first dates, usually you want to make it short anyway, like maybe like an hour long, if that much. You understand? Now, if it turns into something where you can see yourself and this chick probably fucking on that date, then you can extend it a little more. But usually you meet a chick, get a drink, fill her out, and then you bounce. You feel what I'm saying? Now, if it's a thing where the vibe is cool and y'all can really make something happen, then you fucking do that. You feel what I'm saying? You keep that shit going. But the thing is, you don't necessarily need to spend a lot of money because you don't need to even spend a lot of time on those dates like that. You feel what I'm saying? Success Journey, you said you're so thirsty, you're afraid to say hi to a chick, porn is fucking you up. You said you bought Ego is the Enemy book that just arrived. Yeah, that's a good book. You gotta check that out. But yeah, the thing is, a lot of guys gotta get used to just talking to girls, man. You gotta get used to going in there and talking, man. Because once you do it, and once it's like stage fright. I always say that. When people have stage fright, they're scared of that moment between they're about to go on, like they're not on stage yet, but they're about to go on. And then once they're on there, it's like, okay, I'm here, and it's not that bad. It's the same thing with talking to women. Before you do it, you're thinking about it, and you're like, shit, fuck, this is, oh, what do I say, this and this and that. But then once you're actually in the conversation and you start talking to a girl, it's not bad. You're like, okay, this is cool, I'm doing it. It is what it is. 10 p.m. You said, what's my thoughts on eating the booty like groceries? Oh man, I don't know about all that, man. I mean, I get it depends. It depends on if she wash her ass and how fine you think she is, or you know what I'm saying. I don't know. Y'all dudes be eating the booty? Is that what y'all do? Jonathan Thomas, you said you've been out the game for a minute due to marriage. You've been divorced now. You feel lost in the game. How should you go about having a successful approach? Well, what you got to do is you have to just basically immerse yourself in the game now. Meaning, you got to start going out more. You got to get on your online dating shit. You feel what I'm saying? You got to meet other guys who are out there, making that happen, get some wingmen. So you gotta immerse yourself in it. And the reason why I say that is because you need to see where you're at now. You understand what I'm saying? You need to assess where you're at, and you're not gonna understand where you're at unless you go out there and put some work in. So what happens is that since you've been out the game for a while, you might go out with, let's say you go out with one of your boys and you go out to an event and there's chicks there, there's ladies there, and you want to talk to them. You might notice that you have a lot of anxiety or hesitation when it comes to approaching women. So you might go out that night and not talk to anybody. And then you realize, damn, like I saw like 4 or 5 girls I wanted to talk to, and I didn't say nothing to none of them. And then you're like, okay, why didn't I say anything? And then you realize it's because you probably are nervous, you're probably scared or whatever. Or you might go out with your boy, see those 4 women, go up and talk to them, spit, holler at them. You get 3 day numbers, and everything is going in that direction. So now you say, okay, cool, I've been out the game, but now I see where I'm at, and I don't really have any problem, talking to these girls or whatever. But then let's say you get their numbers, you try to set up a date, and you might have a problem making that happen. So you got to always assess where you're at and what's going on. This is why I always tell guys, you got to, put yourself out there to consistently see where you're at. You feel what I'm saying? Smooth T, you said, if you want to charge a chick to the game, do you tell her or just ignore her? Usually it depends on the level of relationship you have with her. So if you just met a girl and you went on one date, right? You can charge her the game by just not calling her again, right? Now, if she calls you or she keeps calling you, then you need to tell her, hey, listen, man, this is not working. Good luck, do your thing, right? Now, if you've been seeing a girl for a few months but you feel like, hey, this is not working, I got to move on, then you let her know. You just be like, look, I think we should just start you seeing other people. It is what it is. You feel what I'm saying? So it kind of all depends. Because, I mean, with that chick, you could ignore her too. But if you've been seeing a chick for a few months, um, and you've been consistently seeing her and y'all talk all the time and all that, it's better to just be like, because she's going to hit you up at some point. She's going to keep hitting you up for a little while. So it's better you just say, yo, look, it ain't working. Barbara747, you said, if a girl that I'm trying to set up a date with gives a seemingly legitimate excuse as to why she can't show up, example, had a family emergency, she has to leave for town or whatever reason, should you take her word for it, or should you see it as bullshit? What do you do? Usually, most of the time when chicks say that stuff is bullshit, truth be told, usually what happens is that when a chick, you're supposed to see a girl, you're supposed to go on a date, and then she says, oh, I can't make it because my dad's sick, or this came up, or my friend came into town, and all that other is usually nonsense. Usually what happens is that they either is fucking with some other dude who came in the picture and they really wanted to fuck with him, or they having second thoughts about seeing you, so they come up with some bullshit excuse. Now, let's say if it actually is an emergency, usually what happens is the girl will give you another day or counter, day to go out. So she'll say some shit like, "Oh, hey, I'm sorry I can't make it tonight. Can we see each other Saturday night instead because this came up? I'm so sorry." So she's the one, giving you the extra day. Now, if a chick hits you up and says, hey, I'm sorry I can't make it, this came up, and she doesn't give you an alternative day, then it's usually bullshit. And she's not really, interested. So you got to look out to see if she's actually trying to make it work. You feel what I'm saying? If she's not really trying to make it work, if she's not trying to set an alternative day, then she's usually bullshitting you. Gilberto Hernandez, what's going on, man? Danny, you said, why do girls actually still talk BS when we know what's going on in the game? Are women trying to manipulate, or they just speaking from an unconscious level? What do you mean with what? In regards to what? real quick. Mecha Soldier, you said, does the just don't give a fuck attitude work with women when approaching or being around them? Yeah, but see, the thing is, if you gotta if you're around women, right, and you're trying to, benefit and make shit go your way in most cases and all of that, it's not about necessarily just not giving a fuck. It's that your whole vibe that has to be authentic in your vibe. You understand? Because a lot of times guys will be like, "Oh yeah, whatever, this and this and that," but they really care, or they're like, "Oh, it don't matter if she don't call me," but they really want her. They it's that energy is there, and the thing is, a woman can sense that because it's not authentic. You feel what I'm saying? Like, when you talk to a girl and let's say she's like, "Oh, you ain't never gonna like get with me like this, or this is never gonna happen." And she says it in a way where she's feeling you, but she's just talking shit. She's just saying shit because she feel like she's supposed to say it. She's just saying it so she doesn't look like a slut. But she's gonna probably want to fuck you and suck your dick at some point. You understand what I'm saying? It's like that, like where you're like, yeah, whatever. It doesn't give that thing. So a lot of times guys, they give that vibe too, where it's like they're interacting with the girl and they're trying to give off this "I don't give a fuck" attitude because they think that's going to make the girl like chase them or whatever. But there has to be an authentic feel to that. Like, you actually really need to have something about that situation where you're like, "Yo, I'm good." But usually that happens a lot when a guy is at the level of the game where he has a lot of things going on, with women, with his life, and all the other shit. Because then he actually doesn't give a fuck because it's like, whatever. You understand what I'm saying? And also what's happening simultaneously is she's getting this needy energy from other guys. So she's always going to be comparing that needy energy she's getting from other guys to the energy she's getting from you. So now it almost seems like even more like, oh damn, like, this guy, he's just like whatever. He's doing his own thing, and that makes you more attractive in her eyes than the other dudes who are like trying to, rush for her attention and all that other dumb shit. You feel what I'm saying? Atlas, you said my coworker yesterday said that taking a fine ass girl on a first date is dumb. He said the simp told me dinner dates as the first date for fine girls is ideal. No, hell no, you don't take no chick on no dinner date for a first date. Don't ever take a chick on a dinner date for a first date. Ever. Crazy? Hell fucking no. You take that chick somewhere cheap and you keep that shit pushing. Dinner dates are for chicks you already fucked or chicks who are your girlfriends. Or he said taking a girl for coffee is dumb. A fine girl for coffee. No, hell yeah, you're supposed to take her for coffee. Fuck that shit. See, his thing is, even saying that, if a person says, "Oh, you don't do this with a fine chick, you don't do that with you putting pussy on a pedestal." You feel what I'm saying? Shouldn't give a fuck if she's fine or not. Like, no, you ain't getting no goddamn dinner. Jimmy McDonald, you said you had two chicks who were friends come up to you choosing. You went direct and told them to text you their numbers right now. They did. You hit them up today to try to set up something and no response. Well, that's good that you were direct. You let them know, hey, give me the numbers and all that other shit. And you said that you hit them up and there was no response. So the thing is, they could, one of them or whoever, because you said you got both of their numbers and shit. I don't know how you was trying to make that go down if you're trying to do some threesome shit or whatever. But sometimes chicks, they're not gonna respond right away. Sometimes they'll hit you up the next day and all the other stuff. So don't start sweating it, and you don't start hitting them up like two, three, four times. You understand? This is the thing I got to tell you guys too. when you text a chick, don't do that shit where you text her, she doesn't respond, and you text her again and she hasn't responded. Nah, you wait for her to respond back to you, then you respond. Now, there are certain situations where if you text the girl and she hasn't responded, if you wait maybe like a week or so and then text her again, if you want to, then that's cool. But don't text her on Monday, she hasn't responded. Text her again on Tuesday, she hasn't responded. Text her again on Wednesday. Nah, none of that bullshit. And usually me, if I text a chick once and she don't respond, I'm done. I'll tell you, I ain't got time for the fuck shit. I ain't got time for it. Clutch Entertainment, he said, he's like, I know you and Miles love hip hop. Have you heard the new J. Cole album? Nah, I haven't heard it yet. I haven't heard the new J. Cole album yet. I haven't heard it. I like J. Cole. He's cool. He's not my favorite though. I can't. You know what it is with J. Cole? J. Cole to me, he's like the reason why, and this is how I feel about J. Cole, about Young Ma, whatever. It's like I have no choice but to like J. Cole and Young Ma and people like that. You know why? Because all these whack fucking rappers are out here. Like, who else I'ma like? Lil Uzi Vert? Like, get the fuck out of here. It's crazy. Show out Biz, you said he was trying to say he was flirting with your crush, and she was reciprocating her interest as well by letting you touch her and sitting close to you, but she never hit you up. Again, see, this is what I'm saying, where women are, they're all over the place with their emotions and how they feel about doing shit at this time or that time. So when you were reciprocating her interest, when she was reciprocating interest and you was touching her, where was this happening? Were you, was she at your house? Were you at her house? Were you all outside? Like, what was going on? Because if you were somewhere, let's say you were at a party or you're at an event or you're, somewhere, you should be like, let's go to my spot. Let's go to your spot now. Mr. DC Comics, said, what is charged to the game mean? That means that you kick them to the curb, you dump them, you call it a day with them. You're not fucking with them anymore. You feel me? It's pretty much just, not fucking with the person anymore. Yeah, man. So Barbara 747, you say you in Chicago? And you're feeling quite lonely. What are the best places to meet women? Well, I'm not from Chicago, so I've never been to Chicago, so I don't know what's the spots in Chicago. You gotta holler at the people in Chicago. Who's in here from Chicago that know some good spots in Chicago? You know? Daniel, you said, I know you talk about after going on a first date, you should hit her up in a week. But what about if you go on an instant date and haven't smashed her yet? How long should I wait to text her? Well, if you meet a chick and you go on an instant date, so for those who don't know what instant dates is, those are when you meet a girl in the street or whatever or somewhere, and you go on a date with her at that moment. You feel what I'm saying? So if you go on a date with her, let's say, and you didn't smash her yet, right? It's basically the same shit. You can hit her up later on that week, or what I usually like to do is sometimes I set up the next date on the date. So one time I did this like instant date with this chick, and so she was, I think it was on like a Thursday, and so we went out. We just got some pizza, some shit. So I was like, she was asking me, she's like, oh, what are you doing for the rest of the weekend? And I was like, well, I'm busy tomorrow, but Saturday, I'm pretty much free. So she was like, oh yeah, I'm not really doing it. And so I was like, all right, listen, we should get together again on Saturday night. You feel me? So she was like, all right, cool. We can meet up here or wherever, whatever. And then so we got together that next on that Saturday. So you can set up the date at that point, or you can just hit her up later that week. Femd, you said what's the next Bad Boy membership video? I think the next one I'm gonna do is about evaluating chicks, meaning how to be the type of guy who knows how to evaluate women and also get women to sort of qualify themselves to you. And I think that's a thing that, and I got to get real detailed on that because I think that's a thing that a lot of guys don't know how to do. And what happens is that this is the thing. A lot of guys come up to women, and women already have this arrogant attitude of, oh, this dude's approaching me now. You need to impress me. So, if you want my number or you got to, all that bullshit, right? So the thing is that if you flip the game on them and you evaluate the chicks and you ask them questions, get them to invest more, and this is stuff you literally do on the spot, talking to a girl for 2 to 5 minutes, whatever, and then you sort of see like, okay, do I want to fuck with this chick? And then she has to also feel that and see that you're doing that. You understand? And there's a way to do that to where now the whole dynamic has flipped on itself. You understand? So a lot of times guys come at women where they're trying to be like, it's like a car salesman. Like the car salesman is like trying to sell the car. Oh, this car is great. Look, it has these features and blah, 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 and this and this and that, right? Now imagine instead of the car salesman being like that, right? The person buying the car, you understand what I'm saying, is begging the car salesman to sell it to them. And the car salesman like, you know what? We only got 2 of these left. I'm not sure if you're the right person for this car. Give me a minute to think about it. And they're like, come on, man, I really want this car. That you want that dynamic to happen when you're dealing with women. You understand what I'm saying? And there's a way that you can do that. And I'm gonna get deep into that. So I think that's gonna be the next one that I'm gonna do for the Bad Boy membership. This is why I tell you guys, you gotta join the Bad Boy membership, man. Because those are the things where I really get, deep into the shit. You feel me? So he says, since I live in New York, what places do I meet women at? Usually I go to Manhattan. This is a place called the Meatpacking District. I think that they have like the flyest chicks there in that area. Also, I go to Lower East Side. If any of you guys are in New York, I hit up that. Also in Queens, I go to Astoria. Astoria got bad chicks, so if you're in New York, go to Astoria. Shit is nice out there. So you said you was at the nail shop with your sister, and your crush didn't tell you she wasn't single, but why would she let you touch her? Because she's, women like attention. You understand what I'm saying? Like you guys, I think you guys forget women love fucking attention. They love that shit, man. So yeah, they'll let you touch them, they'll let you flirt with them, they'll do all that shit. It don't matter if they got a man. But a lot of times you gotta understand that that's just attention whore shit. So what's going to happen is that sometimes you'll go through all of that and she's still, nothing's going to happen. Especially now that she's not single, then, why are you even fucking with her that tough? You feel what I'm saying? King Who said what you said, why should you wait a week? Does she forget you? Now, see, this is the thing, and I've spoken about this plenty of times, and I'll say it again. When you guys are talking to chicks, right? When you go on that first date, this is the thing. When you first get a girl's number, so you don't get this confused. When you first get the number, you want to text her or call her as soon as possible. Don't wait, okay? Text her, call her as soon as possible. So if you get a girl's number Monday, try to hit her up like Monday night or Tuesday the latest. You understand? Now, once you go on the date, you have a good time on a date and all that other stuff, then you wait at least a week to hit her back up. Now, I had an email from a guy who hit me up the other day. He said that he was doing this and the girl was texting him during the week. He was saying, should I text her back, during that week? Because I say, look, wait a week and don't talk to her, and just wait a week. And when that week comes up, you text her again to set up another date, right? Now, he said that he went on it, like, let's say, for example, he went on a date with the chick on Friday, and he said, okay, I was going to wait a week and call her back maybe Thursday to set up another date for the weekend. So he said that the girl was texting him and saying, hey, what's up? How you been? How's your day going? Yada, 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 right? So he's saying, what should he do? Should he, respond or whatever and all this other stuff? So basically what I was telling him is that when you guys go on a date and then you wait that week to hit her up, and if she does text you back, right? All you need to do is you respond to what she's saying, and then you let her know that you have to get off the phone. So for example, you go on a date with a chick on Friday, and you're planning on not texting her back till Thursday night or, Wednesday or Thursday night to set up for the weekend, right? Now, let's say she texts you on Sunday and she's like, good morning, how you been? And I was, just thinking about you, right? All you need to do is say, oh, hey, what's up? My morning's good. Listen, I'm actually running around, this morning. Let's get together again on Friday or whatever, right? So every time she texts you, you're just reiterating when we're going to get together again. Because what you were going to do, you weren't going to hit her up till Thursday to let her know about the weekend. But since she already hit you up, you can say, hey, I'm doing great. Listen, can't talk right now, got to run, but we should get together on Thursday or Friday, whatever. And she's like, all right, cool. And you're like, all right, cool. I see you on Friday, right? Now, let's say, Monday goes by, Tuesday goes by, and let's say she texts you again on Tuesday. And she's like, hey, what's up? How's your day going? How you been? You'd be like, oh, I'm doing great. Just been busy. Look, I'm actually on my way to do this, blah, blah, blah. Look forward to seeing you on Friday. What I'm telling you guys is this. Do not. I know it's tempting. I know do not get into conversations with these women, right, while that waiting period is going on. The reason why I say that is because usually what happens is that when you start having all these conversations so soon, and this is when you're first sort of dating a chick, right, you don't want to get her too used to you, and you don't want to say something or do something that's going to ruin the situation, especially if you haven't had sex with her yet. Do you understand what I'm saying? You might say something that's going to turn her off and then make her not want to see you that next week. Do you understand? This is why you don't text during that time. Do you understand what I'm saying? So now what's going to happen is this. Let's say it's going on by the third date, and if you should have at least, by the third date, you should be fucking. You understand? If you're not fucking by the third date, nah, you got to be setting up some type of shit. So let's say third date, y'all had sex or whatever, and let's say this girl is a girl who's continuously wanting to see you, right? After you already had sex, then at that point, that's when you could start having conversations and doing all that other shit with the chick if she's texting you. Because if a girl likes you, what's going to happen is that she's going to eventually keep texting you. The reason why that chick will text you a lot at first is because she has that interest. What you don't want to happen is you don't want to get into those conversations before you had sex with her, and it's only been the first or second date, because you might say some shit that makes her say, oh my God, I can't believe he said that. I'm not going to see him this weekend. So you basically are creating a flake situation by you having all those damn conversations. You understand what I'm saying? So wait until you smash. Then if she keeps texting you, then yeah, you can have a little back and forth and then say, hey, I'll meet you up, later that week. But the general rule is you date her, you go on that date, you fucking wait that week. Then you hit her up again to go on another date. You go on that date, you wait another week, and then you hit her up to go on another date, and then eventually, usually what happens in general is that she'll start texting you, and then she'll try to make some contact, and by that time, if you already had sex, then yeah, y'all can go back and forth with those texts. But if it's the first date going on the second date and it's that week and she's texting you, all you got to do, yeah, hey, what's up? I'm great, but listen, I got to go. I'll see you when I see you. Don't be having those long ass conversations with the chick. You feel me? Oh my goodness, yeah, it's crazy how some of these chicks' psychology works, man. It's like fucking ridiculous. Stanley, what's popping? You said, how do you get in the high end models and bottle type club in New York where they make it hard for single guys to get in? So what you need to do, and this is what I talk about actually in my program, the Social Circle program, is that, you know, it's easy to get, it's easy to get in those spots where it's like the really hot models and all that other stuff when you know the people who work in those environments, like the bouncers, the bartenders, the managers at the spot. Get to know them if you when you get in there. You understand? Because it's not hard to get in those spots if you come a little bit early. Because if you go too late, they'll be like, oh, no more single guys, all about yada yada yada. Or what you need to do is, and this is what me and my boys would do sometimes, we would sort of find chicks on the street and bring them in with us. You understand? But you gotta be able to be comfortable enough to talk to those girls to make that happen. Or what I was talking about, even with the social circle, is that sometimes if you meet a girl, you're talking to a girl, and let's say she's cute or whatever, still be friends with her, be cool with her, and have her come with you to those spots. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you have a girl on your arm or you have a girl with you, it's easier to get into those spots. And you just, use her on some friendship. So if you want to be on that friend zone shit, be like, all right, cool. So look, we going to go to the spot, come through, y'all go to that spot. And then while you're in there, you can holler at the other chicks that are in there. You understand? But it's all about you being able to maneuver and know how to network. A lot of times, guys don't know how to use their networking skills to make things happen in their favor. Like, I have a friend who, there's a spot in Lower East Side that we would go to called Pianos. And it's not really like even a high-end place. It's like, it's a cool spot. There be, some chicks there, whatever. But there's always a fucking line over there. You understand? In like 90% of the time. But he's cool with the bouncers. He knows the manager, because he's been going there for a while. So he got to know the people. So now when we go there, this dude just goes straight to the front. He's like, yo, what up? Such and such, blah, blah, blah. Give him a pound, and he talked for a little bit with them, and then he let us right in. You know what I'm saying? So it's just about, networking and creating that social circle. Barbara 747, you said you actually meant what specific places, like coffee shops, arcade bars, special events, do you find it best to meet women? What I do, I like to, because what I used to do a lot, I like to go to singles events. I like to, I like the easy spots, because there's this website called meetup.com that I would go to events on there. They got kind of whack now. I haven't really been to a lot of their shits, but I would go to a lot of the singles events and, different things like that, and meet chicks there. Or I would go to, like, I go to more bars than clubs. Like, I don't really go to the big, loud ass, fucking retarded ass, everybody's up on each other, sweating and dancing bullshit. Like, I don't really like that too much. I go to like a low key bar where I can have a conversation with a woman and she can hear me, I can hear her, and we can, converse and all that other stuff. Even coffee shops, Starbucks, shit like that. Good places to meet women. You understand what I'm saying? So, there's a lot of different places, and even, unconventional places, like, you go to the damn supermarket, go to Whole Foods, and you can meet the women there. You understand? It's like a lot of different spots. So, wherever they're at, you could, make it go down. Jimmy, you said you think I should do a video on red flag choosing, aka signs she might be crazy. Yeah, that's true. You gotta watch out for that. You gotta watch out for that shit. Cause chicks be fucking insane, bro. Some of these chicks will ruin your goddamn life. So you gotta be careful. Sir Morganson, what's poppin'? You said, do women get mad if you don't reply to their texts? This girl texted me her work schedule and told me take care. After I texted her happy birthday, I have no clue what to do next. Yo, listen, this will make the game so much easier for you guys, man. A lot of times you just have to think about what you want to happen. So, for example, and usually it's sex. So, like, a lot of times you see a girl, you're like, okay, she's hot, I want to fuck her, right? You get her number, y'all exchange numbers, you text her. Now, if you want to, and this is what this is where I'm at right now. Like, I actually like to go on at least one date with a chick, just to feel her out, right? Something quick, something cheap, whatever. So all you got to do is text her, set up a date, see her, see what a vibe is, and then fuck her. Or if you're just trying to hook up, when you first talk to a girl, say, listen, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm not really trying to go on a lot of dates. I think you're attractive, and I think we should get together and hook up sometime. And then you do that. All this extra, I texted her this and I said this and I was doing it, like, you're making it a little bit too much, you're making it more complicated than it needs to be. Now, I understand that there are so many different variables that go along with you interacting with women, right? But what you got to understand is that if you understand what you're trying to do with the chick, then it makes it a little bit more easier. So, for example, and also understand what you want to put up with and don't want to put up with. So, if, for example, myself, like I was saying earlier, I don't like to fuck with chicks who flake. So if I deal with a chick, or if I get a girl's number and I text her, and we supposed to set up a time to see each other, and then she's like, oh, I can't make it, or something like that, I don't call her again. And then in certain cases, the chick might call me back, maybe like a week or two, maybe even a month. Sometimes that happens. That same chick will call me back. And so in some cases, I don't even bother because I'm talking to these other girls or whatever, right? Other cases, let's say if she's a cute chick I want to smash, right? I'll hit her up and be like, listen, last time we were supposed to meet up, you flaked, and I'm not really into that flaking stuff. But if you want to see me again, that's cool. But you got to make it up to me by buying me dinner or some shit like that, right? And, if the girl's really feeling you, she wants to make it happen, she'll fucking do it. You feel what I'm saying? So the point is that I saw her, I wanted to smash, I wanted to make something happen. And on top of that, I don't like the flaking. So I'm creating how I want to deal with these girls. So it's like I already have the blueprint in my head. Oh, you flaked? Okay, she's gone. Oh, she wants to get back with me? Okay, cool. Well, you got to buy me some dinner because you flaked. Like, I already got the shit down. So whenever a woman does what she does, I already have down what I'm going to do. I already have down my game plan before she even interacts. You feel what I'm saying? So in my game plan also, as far as what I'm trying to do with her. So if I'm just trying to hook up, I come at it just hooking up. If I want to go on a date with her, first I do that. I get her number, I set up a date. All the stuff you need to do is, comes from you figuring out what you want to happen first. You feel what I'm saying? And then so everything will be a little bit easier. The problem is that guys are scared. If they even do have a sort of plan like that, they're scared to stick to it. Because what a lot of guys will do is that girl will flake, and let's say they say, you know what, I'm not going to be fucking with these chicks who's flaking it too much. I'm going to keep it moving. I'm going to find other chicks who don't flake. What a lot of guys are going to do, if that chick flakes, they'll be like, okay, well, let me just try to call her one more time. Let me try to do, and then so now you're getting off your course. And now that's when you get frustrated, because now you're like, damn, well, I called her twice. I hit her up 3 times. She said she was going to come to, and now you're caught up in this whole mess that you wouldn't have been caught up in if you would have just stuck to what you said you were going to do. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you have to stick to your guns, and shit will be a little bit more easier for you, because all you're going to be doing is saying, okay, well, this is what I want to do. This is where I'm taking it. And the girl has to fit in with that plan. Now, the thing you want to understand is you don't want to be too unreasonable with this. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I'm toting the line of being unreasonable, but I'm only doing this because this is years in the game of me making shit happen. You understand? Like, I have a wife and a girlfriend, so I'm not. It's not the same as a single dude. Like, you understand? So I'm in a situation where, you know, if I'm dealing with any chick, it has to fit into my cipher. You understand? Like, I got a wife, a girlfriend, I'm running a business, I'm doing all this other shit. I ain't got time for the flakiness. You feel what I'm saying? So you have to figure out what's going on with you and figure out how to fit women into what it is you're doing to make it more beneficial for you. And so you don't, you know, have all that annoyance and that anxiety and stressing yourself out trying to make shit pop or make shit go down. You feel what I'm saying? It's crazy. JF00170 said you've been fighting with yourself about ending the relationship with your girl because you're not at all attracted to her anymore. And she's a good girl, but at the same time, you're also miserable as hell every time you see an attractive one. Well, see, that's the thing. You gotta be fair to yourself, man, and be fair to her. You know, you might have to let her go. You understand what I'm saying? Now, that's something that you need to figure out yourself. I'm not telling you to dump her. I'm telling you that, you know, objectively speaking, right? If you're not happy or you're not enjoying yourself, and, you know, then why are you doing what you're doing? And is it fair to her for you to feel this way and sort of just be like, you know, when she could actually be with a guy who, you know, wants finds her attractive and wants to be with her? You gotta ask yourself those questions and stuff. Clutch Entertainment, he said, so what he's saying is it's okay to be in a friend zone with chicks for a social circle purpose, because normally if I want to smash a chick and she rejects me or got a boyfriend, I just charge them completely. Now, see, this is the thing. If you want to have that social circle, yes, you could keep that girl in the friend zone. Now, this is the difference. This is what you got to understand. Listen carefully. Do not try to get in the friend zone with women. What you're doing is each woman that you're talking to, you're trying to get with her. Now, if it doesn't turn out that way, meaning let's say she's like, you know, she's not interested, right? Then you say, listen, you know, that's cool, but let's exchange numbers because I do a lot of this. I go a lot into these places, and you know, you're an attractive woman, and you know, I like to have female energy around me, that, you know, attractive female energy around me. Now, a lot of girls will be cool with that. It's a compliment to them, and a lot of girls actually like when guys, you know, the fact that a guy can be like, yo, you know, I still find purpose for you, even though I'm not fucking you. You feel what I'm saying? So some girls will be cool with that. You understand? But the thing is, what I'm saying is you don't want to automatically say, oh, let me just try to be this hot girl's friend because I feel like I can't get with her. And then you're automatically putting yourself in a friend zone. That's what I'm saying. Don't do that. You should always start with trying to get with her. You feel what I'm saying? It should always start that way. But then if it doesn't turn out that way, then you just keep it on, you know, a friendly thing so that you can, you know, have that situation where she can help you attract other women. Mr. DC Combs, he said, do zodiac signs mean anything? I don't know actually. I think I'm sure there's some sort of science or meaning that goes with it, because if you were born you know, at a certain time when the earth and shit is moving or shifting and all that other stuff, probably has an impact on, you know, parts of how you are, maybe. You understand? I don't know. Like, you know, I would have to like look that up. We should look that up and see what's popping with that, because, you know, who knows if that actually means anything. It could and it couldn't. Who the fuck knows? Who the hell knows, man? Show out busy. You said, why is it that girls you don't like show more interest than the ones you're into? Well, that's because you're not being when you're around a girl you don't like, you're more yourself. It's really that simple. When you're around women you don't really like, you're more relaxed because you're not trying to get them. There's no desire there, so there's no anxiety there. You understand? When you're around a chick you really want, you're not relaxed enough. You're hoping so much that this will work or she'll want to get with you, that you're not really being in the moment and you're not relaxed. When you're around a girl who you're not really into, you understand? You just don't give a fuck. You're like, whatever, I'm chilling. And this is what I was talking about earlier, where I said that your not giving a fuckness has to be authentic. And it's authentic that you're not really that into her, and then by you being that way, you're a little bit more calm and cool and collected, and that is attractive to women in general. So what you got to understand is that you have to get yourself to a point where you're calm, cool, and collected around any woman. So even the woman that you're really feeling, you don't start to switch up and try to act a certain way or get nervous or have that anxiety, because that's what's going to make the girls, want you more. You feel me? Fabelito, you said, what's my thoughts on a prenuptial agreement? Yeah, I think you should do that, a prenup. You feel what I'm saying? Especially you're a guy with a whole bunch of dough, and you come into a relationship with a chick who either doesn't have anything or doesn't have as much as you have. Hell yeah. Albert Alson, you said, is the game different for a 20-year-old, meaning how you talk to a woman 18 through 23 and meeting them and going on dates? Yeah, actually, I have a program on the Bad Boy membership called the Age Game. The Age Game. So I basically was talking about how when you holler at chicks from different age groups, you're gonna usually encounter different types of things going on. So usually chicks who are 18 through 23 or 24, those are more of the chicks who are, they're in that attention whore stage. You feel what I'm saying? That's that chicks be on that attention whore shit when they're at that stage in most cases. So a lot of times when you're dealing with those girls, you got to have a lot of energy. You got to move fast. You got to be prepared for a lot of flaking. Because chicks at that age don't give a fuck about none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? They'll flake like at the drop of a hat. Stanley, you said, is it true that in a supermarket, single women mostly shop in the evening? I don't know. I never heard that shit. That's funny. Show out boys. Say you're gonna go out now and get some chicks. That's what's up. Do it. Holla at them. See what's popping. Casey McLemore. What's going on? He said, what's the most important tip you can give for approaching in public? Yeah, we talked about that earlier, but I was basically saying one of the things in public that you want to do is you want to get to the point fast, man. Got to get to the point fast. Like, don't be lollygagging. A lot of dudes, they be having these conversations, not saying nothing, you know? So you got to make sure that you holler at them chicks fast, man. Anonymous person was popping. You said, how does in-person coaching work? Do you go infield? You live in New York? Yeah, so if any of you guys are interested in coaching and in-person coaching, go to mrlocario.com and you can go to the coaching page. The coaching page is a tab on the top on the menu. Go to the coaching joint, and it shows you email coaching, phone coaching, and in-person coaching. So if we do in-person coaching, then we go out and I'm with you in person. You feel me? And we can make that happen. Now, if you're in another state and you want to do in-person coaching, we can do that too. But you're gonna have to put up some more bread for travel and all the other stuff. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, we go out. And it depends on what you want, because what in-person coaching or personal coaching is like the stuff I'm talking to you guys now is a lot of general stuff, right? But in-person coaching is more so like if you have a specific situation, or I work personally on your specific situation. So let's say you might be the type of guy who, you're very like anxious when you talk to women. You have approach anxiety. You're scared to go up and talk to girls and all that other stuff. So if you want to work on that, then we can do that, and make that happen. Mr. DC Comics said, "What are some things a guy can do for himself before he even starts the dating game that could benefit him in the long run with women?" Well, the thing is, you should basically be working on yourself all the time. You feel what I'm saying? Meaning, working on things in your life, things that make you happy, things that you're passionate about. Do all those things, and be confident within yourself. Be confident in what you're doing. And so what happens is that in the long run, when you're developing who you are and you're working on yourself and you're doing your own thing and you're confident, women are going to gravitate to you anyway when that happens. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of times, guys aren't really taking time to cultivate their own thing, the things that they want to make happen. They're not taking the time to do that. So what happens is that they come to women, or they get in interactions with women, and they're not really, they don't have anything going on. They don't have anything for a woman to latch onto. Because remember, women want to get down with the man's program. They want to be part of his team. And if you don't got anything going on, then it's like, okay, what am I being a part of? That's what the woman is thinking. You understand? So what are your thoughts on holiday game? Because you see a lot of chicks Christmas shopping. No, it's the same shit, man. Like, it's the same thing as anything else, man. Like, you still see women, you still go up, you still holler, you still, interact with them. You understand? It's still cuffing season. You understand? So, you just take that all into account, and you incorporate that into your game. A lot of times, even on the holidays, you're gonna get a lot of exes calling you back and being like, "Hey, what's going on? How you been? Happy holidays." And then if you want to fuck with the exes, or just not even exes, it could just be girls you were messing with or tried to mess with, and they came back in the picture, and you take advantage of that shit. Darren was popping. He said last year you went out clubbing one night, and you usually ask women if they want to dance and do okay. Not so well last night. Upon leaving, a bouncer mentioned older women showing up on Saturdays in year 25. Okay, well, So you like older chicks, Darren? What's up with that? Rich Royalty Official, what's good, bro? You said, is calling or texting a chick to set up a first date thirsty, or should you wait a few days? No, this is the thing again. And let me talk about the thirsty thing, also. If when you get a girl's information, you want to call or text her as soon as possible. Don't wait a couple days. Don't do none of that shit. Call and text her as soon as possible, right? Because you want to jumpstart it quickly. Because you want the momentum to, keep going. You understand? So like when you first meet them, you're talking to her, you get her information. And then let's say you hit her up that night. Oh, hey, what's up? It was good to meet you. When are you free? We get together again. Or you hit her up the next day. You understand? And so you build that momentum up at that moment. Then y'all go out. And then once y'all go out, she gets that feel for you. Now, this is what I was saying with the whole thing about waiting a week. When you wait a week, you give her that time to, that momentum has been built. Now you give her time to think about you, and then in her own mind create the fantasy of you and her getting together. But at the same time, by you leaving that week, it also gives her time to wonder if you are actually going to call her again, which builds up more of that attractiveness, attraction that she's going to have for you, because it's that anticipation of, is he going to call me back or not? Is it going to happen or not? You understand what I'm saying? But also when we talk about thirsty, you guys got to understand that the pursuit, or the, you trying to get with women or trying to have sex with them and all that, that's not thirsty. You understand? I think guys think that them actually just trying to get with a girl or trying to talk to a girl is thirsty behavior. But it's that's not true, right? Being thirsty, right, a lot of times has to do with you basically trying to either, trying so hard because you don't have that much success, or you feel like you have a lack of interactions with women. So then you try so hard to make something happen. So you're like, you meet a girl, you're trying to get all touchy feely, excessively touchy feely because you haven't touched a girl in a while. You get a girl's number and you're calling her 10 times a day because you just want to have a conversation with a girl because you haven't been talking to a girl in a while. That's thirsty. Or let's say if a girl is, she's not really feeling you, you understand, but you keep trying to get with her. Let's say some girl in your school where you're like trying to holler at her, but she's not trying to hear it. Then you see her the next week. You're like, so what's up? Blah, blah, blah. You keep trying to get at her. That's being thirsty. But just you actively trying to approach the girl, just trying to talk to a girl, trying to set something up, that's not thirsty. You feel what I'm saying? Atlas Omega, you said, how tall am I? I'm 5'11". You said, what's a good way to sexualize an interaction? Basically, all you need to do is build sexual tension in an interaction by flirting. That's what you got to do. You flirt, and then that sexualizes the interaction, and then that builds the sexual tension, and then that puts you in that realm of a guy who she could see as a potential lover. So you got to understand, and I talk about this in my ebook, The Magnificent 10 Crucial Dating Tips for Men, which all of you should get because it's free. You go to MrLocario.com, where I was talking about a lot of guys end up in the friend zone because when they're interacting with a woman, they're not making the situation sexual. They're talking to a girl in a very platonic way. So if you are, a chick will put you in either the friend category or the lover category. You understand? And so if you're being too friendly and too regular, she's going to, see you as a friend. And that's how you get into the friend zone. A lot of times guys think they get into the friend zone just because the chick's not feeling them. Now, in certain cases that happens, but in certain cases, you end up being in the friend zone because of the way you acted when you first started approaching and talking to her. You were acting like a friend, so she put you in the friend zone. Darren, you said you want someone your age. You said it seems like you strike out with younger women and older women find you more appealing. See, the thing is, older women usually are a little bit more mature and comfortable with themselves. See, the reason why a lot of times guys have a hard time with certain younger girls is because a lot of times younger girls don't know what the fuck they want. You understand? They're all over the place. They're extremely insecure. So you try to make something happen with them, and it's like pulling teeth sometimes. Now, this isn't all young girls, but you got to understand that there's a certain energy and a certain vibe that you have to be able to keep up to, make that interaction flow the way that you want it to flow. You said, is inviting a chick over your crib to have sex after the first date thirsty? Nope, it is not. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. All you got to understand about being thirsty is it's it's a mind state you have when you feel like you're lacking, or you feel like you have to I have to get this. You understand what I'm saying? It's that mindset. If you see a chick and you're on a date with her, it's the first date, and the vibe is cool, and you're like, yo, we should go back to my place and get it popping. That's not thirsty. Now, same situation. You see the girl, everything seems cool. You're like, yo, let's go back to my place and get it popping. She's like, oh no, I don't really like to do guys on the first date. You're like, come on, like we having a good time, right? Like, why can't we just go back to my place? She's like, no, I just met you. I want to get to know you more. They're like, I'm saying no, what? That's thirsty. You feel what I'm saying? When you're like trying to fucking keep doing the thing and trying to get the shit popping. You said it's Times Square a good spot to holler at chicks on the night when the ball drops. I don't think so, because when it's New Year's and the ball be dropping and it's fucking packed out there, you can't even move really. You feel what I'm saying? Now, I don't know, maybe if you go out there after the ball drops, and people are dispersing, you understand, then maybe, but also too, a lot of times it's cold as fuck out there. Like, I was out last night and it was cold as a motherfucker. I was like, it's too damn cold out this bitch. I'm like, it's too fucking cold. I don't like in that weather, you really got to get to the point because it's cold as fuck. Be like, yo, look, miss, it's cold. Give me a number now. I gotta go. It's fucking freezing. I'll holler at you later. Like, I ain't got time to be bullshitting with you. Sir Morgan, you said thirsty, and I'd say creepy are all just lame, subjective criticisms women use to shame men they don't find attractive. Yeah, definitely creepy is a word that chicks use to try to shame men. Because they'll just call a guy creepy because they're not into that guy. But a guy who is, doing the same exact thing as that creepy guy, but if she's attracted to him, then it's no longer creepy. You feel what I'm saying? It's on some bullshit. But I'll say thirsty. It more has to do with like your actions as far as how you being persistent when you don't necessarily need to be, or you're being persistent because you want the shit to work out so much. So it's like there's nothing wrong with calling it a day with a certain situation. You understand? Because you have the thirstiness where you're thirsty because you just haven't had any in a while. Then you got the thirsty because that specific girl, you're trying to, you're like, I gotta get her. She's awesome. She's the best. I want to, so now you're doing so much shit to try to get that chick. You feel what I'm saying? You said, should you ever hit up a girl you've charged in the game a long time ago? Now, if you've ignored her and didn't say to her, I'm charging you, or hey, this is done, then yeah, you can hit her up. But if you call the chick and said, listen, uh, we're done. I can't fuck with you no more, then yeah, you shouldn't be calling her back. You understand what I'm saying? Like, the only way you would be able to you would do that is if, like, let's say it was like a girl you was with, and you and her had something going, but for some reason you you called it off, and then a couple months later you was like, damn, why the fuck did I call it off? Then you can hit her back and say, listen, I was thinking about you, and my bad, and I was going through some shit, and I really think you're cool. I think we should try again, whatever. That can happen, right? But if you was sort of like dogging out a chick and being on some bullshit, and you was like, yo, fuck out of here, I'm not fucking with you, and then all of a sudden you want to call her back, I don't think that's going to go well in most cases. Royal Illness was good, dude. What's popping? Justin Brown, you said, why is my ex-girlfriend contacting me out of the blue after 3 years of not talking? Well, usually what happens is sometimes when these chicks go out with different dudes, they realize that the grass isn't greener on the other side of this game. You feel me? So they're like, shit. She's like, damn, I done broke up with my man, and this is what's out here. So now she's calling you back because she realized that shit ain't popping for her. Usually chicks will call you back or chicks will hit you up, ex-girls or girls you've been trying to get with and shit ain't pop off. They'll hit you up when shit is dry for them. That's really what it's about. The game is dry and she wants some dick or she wants some attention. So she's hitting you back up. You feel what I'm saying? Or she's realizing that, the dudes out here that she was trying to get with ain't working out for her. You feel me? It's crazy. It is crazy. But yeah, man. So what's going on with you peoples? What's popping? Oh yeah, again, I gotta mention again. For anyone who is on the Bad Boy membership or who's thinking about joining the Bad Boy membership, make sure you join the membership before 2017, because in 2017, I'm not sure the exact date, but it's going to be early 2017, maybe like in the middle to the end of January. The Bad Boy membership price is going to go up. But if you are a member now, or if you join now, the price that you're going to pay is going to stay the same, as long as you're a member. So right now, the price is $24.97 a month. But if you join in 2017, when the price goes up, I'm not even sure how much it's going to be, but it's going to go up. But you'll stay at the $24.97 forever. You feel me? As long as you are a Bad Boy member. So you say, would you talk about energies that women pick up on and or find attractive, perhaps even ways to bolster or transform your energy, habits, lifestyle, intelligence, etc.? Well, see, the thing is, what you got to understand is how you feel about yourself and how you view yourself and how you think about yourself and all that other stuff. That's important because that comes off when you talk to people and you interact with people, right? Sometimes, you ever be around somebody that, let's say it could be someone you know well, or somebody you probably don't even know that well, but you walk into a room and you look at them and you can tell they're upset about something. You haven't even spoken a word to them. You haven't said anything, but they have a look on their face like they look worried, they look anxious, they look, like tired about, they have that look that you feel that energy. You understand? Or, when you get around a person who, let's say you get around a person who's just really happy, like they have, they're full of energy, they're just positive, and sometimes you're around them and then they make you feel good because that energy is rubbing off on you. Or let's say if, you're in a room somewhere or even like at work or something, and somebody who just has a very negative energy, or somebody who's like just an asshole comes into the room, or let's say it's even a party, a house party, somebody comes into the room where they just have a negative vibe and then it just drowns the whole fucking room. Everybody, it just doesn't feel, right. Now, when you're interacting with women, they can feel that energy. So a woman can feel when you're confident. She can feel when you're insecure. She can see when you are the type of guy who is, somewhat of a guy who's probably a bullshitter in most cases. You can see a guy that's a super nice guy. She can see a guy who's like, you can feel that player vibe going off on him. There's all these different things that they can feel because that energy is hitting them. You feel what I'm saying? So the thing is that once you feel a certain way about yourself, once you actually believe yourself and you understand what you're about and you're confident within yourself, right? That usually makes it easier for you to attract women because you're starting off with it coming from you. You're starting off from you bringing that energy to the situation. And so the chicks are going to respond to that. So you got one guy who's really confident, and then you have a guy who's insecure, right? The women are going to gravitate to that confident guy because that's what the women want to be around. You understand? They want to be around that dude. I did a video a while ago talking about the real reason women love confidence, and I was basically saying that a woman wants to be around a confident guy because an insecure guy, in a lot of cases, reminds her of her own insecurity. You understand what I'm saying? So she doesn't want to be around that guy because being around him makes her see the things she doesn't like within herself. Being around that confident guy shows her what she likes within herself if she, when she is confident, and also shows her what she aspires to be. You understand what I'm saying? This is why people like to be around people who are confident, people who are winners, people who are sure of themselves, because that energy is like, yes, this guy or this girl or whoever is going in that direction that I like, the direction I want to be in one day. You understand? When a person is, negative, a person really is on some, down and out shit, people are like, they don't want to be around that too much. You understand? It's not attractive. So then, they don't want to, deal with that type of energy. He said, what accessories, features, or piece of clothing do I enjoy seeing the most on women? He said, yours are high heels, pretty hair, and beautiful eyes. I like chicks. I like thick chicks. You understand? I talked about that the other time. I love me a fucking thick chick, I like the high heels shit. I don't like chicks with weave. Oh my, I can't do it. Like, I love black women with natural hair. Dreadlocks, afros, I rather, even if a chick is like, has a bald head, I rather that than the fucking weave. I can't with the weave, man. It's just, that shit turns me off. Like, a chick has to be super bad to have a weave on and make me want to fuck with her. I can't do it. Machu upstairs, you said a girl asked you to come to church with her. Who you like? What do you think about this? I mean, I wouldn't go to church because I just don't like church. You understand? But I'd just be like, listen, I'll meet you after church. You feel what I'm saying? Because see, I'm not into doing shit I don't want to do. You feel what I'm saying? So I implement that in the game. It's like, and this is the thing. Like, a lot of guys, they do shit for women, and then when shit don't go the way that they want it to go, they're upset. And the reason why they're upset is because they were doing shit they didn't want to do. You were doing stuff you didn't want to do. You were doing things for this girl or to get this girl, but it really wasn't what you were feeling. And then now you're upset about it. Like, I remember, oh man, this shit got me so tight, man. Oh, it's got me so tight. I remember I was like 21, 22, right? And this is why I don't do this shit anymore. I was 21 and 22. I'm chilling with this chick, and we're in her house, and she bought like this big ass bottle of Heineken or some shit. And so she's like, "Oh yeah, let's drink some Heineken." Blah blah. Now, I didn't fucking like Heineken, but of course, me being a dumbass, I was trying to get her to like me, and I was like, okay, well, I'll just drink some whatever. So I drank, like, it was like, I drank a lot of fucking Heineken. You understand? And that shit was disgusting. And it was like, I felt like I wanted to throw. I didn't throw up, but I felt sick. You understand? And long story short, I think like me and this girl like kissed a little bit, but I never hit it. Nothing really happened. So now I went through all of this, did all this bullshit, and nothing still happened. So this is why I say, don't do shit to try to get women. Do the shit you want to do and find women who are going to cooperate within your situation. You understand? Because you going out your way to do all of this shit for the women, and then shit don't go down, you're going to be like, what the fuck? And even on top of that, why are you doing shit? um, to get them? Why are you doing shit that you don't want to do? It's almost like it's basically like you're disrespecting yourself. You feel what I'm saying? See, a lot of these dudes out here, I see even like some pickup artists. Because I know my dude Steve Day Game. Shout out to him. Well, I did an interview with him, and he was like, a lot of these dudes have a get laid or die trying mentality, and I'm like, I'm not with that. I don't believe in that shit. So it's like they'll do anything to get laid. They're like, oh, okay, well, she wants to do this, let's do this. So nah, fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that bullshit. Stanley said, how can you get physical with a woman without coming off thirsty? Well, you have to see how she responds to you getting physical with her. See, it's like a fucking it's a back and forth thing. You understand? So if you touch her hand, right, she should be, keeping her hand in your hand. So like let's say you touch a girl's hand or whatever, you holding her hand, right? Now if she stays there and lets you hold it, then that's cool. If she's like grabbing your hand, doing all this, that's cool. But if you touch a girl's hand and then she's moving it away, but then you're kind of, and then she's moving away, you keep trying to grab her hand, that's thirsty. You feel what I'm saying? So it has to be that mutual thing. It has to be that response of her, going back and forth with it, with you. Anonymous person, he said, is it more difficult to get girls in the winter as opposed to other times of year? No, it's not really. You can get girls whenever. The thing is, you got to figure out um, how to tailor your game to the situation. So if it's really cold outside, it's going to be more beneficial for you to hit up, like go specifically to certain spots and hit up chicks, or do a lot of online shit if you want to do that. Because if it's like 10 degrees outside, it's cold as fuck. You ain't gonna want to be chilling outside for hours trying to run up on chicks. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's too fucking cold. It's crazy. He said, do opposites attract or does like attract like? That's an interesting question, man. Well, opposites attract, um, and like attracts like. I think it's both, actually. Because opposites attract because you need opposites for shit to exist, for you to understand shit. You understand? So like up is the opposite of down, but you don't know what down is without up. You don't know what up is without down. So you need those opposites in order to understand, right? But when we talk about like attracts like, um, for example, if I'm interacting with a woman and she wants the same things that I want, or she's into sort of the same things I'm into, we'll sort of be attracted to each other versus, a chick that, I'm not really having that type of vibe with. Now, the opposite is the fact that I'm a man and she's a woman, and then the like that attracts the like is that we're sort of into the same things. You feel what I'm saying? Barbara 747. How can you discern weaves and natural hair? What do you mean? How can I tell the difference? Is that what you're saying? Because I just, man, I can't do the weaves, bro. Shit. I mean, God bless the guys who can, but that shit, woo, I don't know. Sir Morgan, you said one day I gotta set it up so that I can take phone calls. Yeah, you're right. You are right. Actually, dude, let me see if I could. Hold on. Let me see if I'm gonna try something. Let me try to see if I can take a phone call now. I could set up my Skype. Hold on. If this doesn't work, let me see. I'm gonna try something right now on the cuff. and see if I could do my Skype thing. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Let's see. Where's my Skype? Hold on. Let me see if this will. All right. Let's see something. Wait, let me see what my Skype number is because I forgot my Skype number. Let me see if I remember this shit. Or I know I had it in my email. Hold on. Let's see. Skype. They send me. Okay. All right. So, see, I don't know. I'm not sure if even this, if y'all will even hear this sound if I put this shit on. But I gotta set this up. So my Skype number is 646-481-3901. 646-481-3901. So if anybody wants to call that number, let's see if this shit'll work. Let's see if this shit'll work. If anybody wants to call right now. Because I have the Skype open. I'm wondering if the sound will come through on this computer. We'll see what happens if anybody calls in. Oh shit, it's 6:05. I gotta be out in 15 minutes because I got a radio interview. But we'll keep rocking. And that's a good idea, Sir Morgenstein. I gotta fix this shit up to see if we could take phone calls and we can make that happen. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, if any of you guys want to call in real quick, 646-481-3901. We'll see if that can go down. You feel me? Business One, what's going on, man? You said, is it possible to have deep inner core self-belief / purpose, but have confidence issues, at least on the outside, in terms of physical self-consciousness in certain aspects? If so, how do you become more congruent? Well, the thing is, a lot of this has to do with your mind and how you view yourself and how you view the world. You know, because if you're saying if you have physical self-consciousness, or you're saying, well, you know, you're confident, but then at the same time you don't feel confident in your looks. Is that what you're saying? Is that the question you're asking? But a lot of times the thing is that if you're confident, is going to all across the board. You're gonna feel that confidence. So even if the thing is, even if you're not the greatest looking guy, but you are confident in yourself, that's the thing that's going to make you attractive, not only to women but just to people in general. Because you got a lot of guys out here who are good looking and who are insecure as hell. You feel what I'm saying? So it's not it's not just about the looks. Ratchet Kingdom was popping. You said, do money problems affect dating? What type of money problems? Because, you know, if you out in the streets and shit, you ain't got no home, of course, yeah. But if if you're just like, you don't got that much money, you can still date, you can still interact and shit, just do shit within your budget. Also, I always say, keep these dates cheap as fuck, man. You said mommy problems. Is that what do you mean, mommy problems? What do you mean, mommy problems? Hold on. So is anybody going to try to call in? I need somebody to try to call in 646-481-3901. Somebody try to call into this motherfucker. Let's see what happens if my phone line works, or if I'm gonna have to get like another computer with a speaker. Oh, you say you don't have a good relationship with your mother? Is that what you're saying? Oh, and does that affect the dating? Yeah, it could. If you don't have a good relationship with your mother, or you feel a certain way about your mom and all that, and depending on how you grew up and all that other stuff, that could have an effect on, how you relate to women. Anonymous, you said, do girls almost always catch feelings? Um, yeah, most girls do if they're, being with a guy for a good long time. If they're with him for a while, yeah, that shit goes down. That shit goes down. I need one of you guys to call up right now so we can see if this phone is working. 646-481-3901. Don't be scared now. Don't be scared now. So business, when you said you overthink things. Yeah, when you're talking to chicks, man, don't overthink shit, man. Just, you have to flow with the situation. Always flow with the situation. Anonymous, you said you won't be anonymous if you call. So don't say your name. Ain't nobody gonna know. I just need somebody. I need somebody to call so we can test this phone shit. I need somebody to call right now so we can test this phone shit before I get out of here. So the next week, I can have, some phone calls in this bitch. You feel what I'm saying? Let me find this number again. The fuck did I put this number? 646-481-3901. That is the phone number. Yeah, man. Oh my goodness. But guys, make sure that you guys go to Bad Boy membership. Sir Morgan, you said if I would have known. Okay, here we go. All right. Can whoever's calling, can you hear me? How come I'm not hearing any volume on this shit? You see, this is why we gotta test shit. I'm not hearing shit. That's crazy. So who was that just called? Somebody just called. I didn't hear shit. I didn't say nothing. I didn't hear a goddamn thing. Maybe it's my preferences. Hold on. Let me see something. Hold on. That's probably my bad. So Ratchet Kingdom, you called just now? Were you speaking? Because I couldn't hear nothing. All right, call back again. Call back one more time so we can see if this will pop off. All right, I changed the settings. Call back again. Call back one more time. 646-481-3901. Call back one more time. All right. All right, we're going to try this again. All right, hello?
Yeah, you hear me now?
Oh, shit. What's popping?
Yeah, what up? I guess I was just talking about like mommy problems. I don't got a good relationship with my mother.
Okay, wait, hold on. Can you guys hear him? Okay, you guys can hear him. All right, cool. So what you were saying?
Yeah, I was just saying, like, do that kind of like affect relationships? Because I'm not really that. I'm cool with my mom, but it's just like I don't know. She just been too busy for me, like through my whole childhood. I'm an adult now, so
Wait, how old are you?
27 now.
27. And so
Yeah.
do you speak with your mom? Do you have like a good relationship with her?
I mean, we really don't speak like that because I'm in another city, but I go visit, every now and then.
Right, right. And when's the last time you visited your mom?
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving? Okay, so that was this
Yes.
Thanksgiving that just passed?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, well, the thing usually is, a lot of times, when people grow up, depending on with their mother or father, because I had a girl, one of my girlfriends, she didn't have a good relationship with her dad. You understand, and that impacted how she related to men. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm not like I'm not like a psychologist or anything, but I've seen that pattern and I've read stuff about this where a lot of times that can affect how people interact with the opposite sex. You feel me?
Yeah, true that. Yeah.
So what happens when you talk to women? What's like? What's your situation?
I mean, for the most part, it's cool, but it's just I don't know. Like I said about these last 2-3 years, it just sat in the back of my head, just like I don't know. I just don't even want to, not even on no gay shit, like period. But I don't even want to talk to women to an extent.
Why not?
And it's probably just the area I'm in, but it's just like I don't even want to talk to them.
And where you from?
To an extent. Like Ohio.
Okay. And what makes you not want to talk to them?
It's just like honestly, it's a bad selection of women here, but it's just like it's kept on taking L's, But I kind of notice when I do go out to other states, I don't have no problem. Or if I'm dealing with chicks from out of state, it's just I got no problem to an extent,
Right. So that could be it too, because sometimes in certain areas or certain different places, the vibe is not that good when you dealing with chicks. So like you said, there's probably other places where you can holler at chicks and it'll be a different situation. You know what I'm saying? But what it is though is that I think that when it comes to you interacting with girls and talking to girls, sometimes the more that you talk to women, you're gonna find different women who are actually going to be cool chicks and girls who are going to give you better experiences. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what you need to do is, I would say, like, when you start talking to more girls, you need to, recognize the chicks that are on some bullshit and kind of like, charge them to the game, don't really fuck with them. And then the ones who are cool, you understand? You gravitate more to those type of girls. It's really that simple at the end of the day, because what happens is that sometimes the experiences that you have, so like let's say even with your with your mom or whatever, there might be some friction there and some stuff that y'all got to work out. But then you're taking that type of energy and then putting that into the energy you're dealing with women. You feel what I'm saying? And it's probably hard for you to even recognize the cool chicks. You feel what I'm saying? Or in most cases like that. So
yeah, that's true.
Right, but the thing is.
And I'm about to cut you off there. Like another thing too,
right?
It's kind of like my mom. She don't never like none of my girlfriends.
Oh,
even when I was younger,
Right.
And I don't know if that got anything to do with it too, but
right. So that's the thing. I think it has to be a dialogue you and your mom have to talk to each other about. You know what I'm saying? And also too, you might because the thing is too, like it might actually do you some good for you and your mom or whoever to actually seek like professional help so y'all could get to the bottom of that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because that type of stuff, if you don't address it, it could be a problem with your interactions with other people and interactions with your relationships. Because like you said, if your mom's is not really feeling the girls that you're with, or you probably have some friction with your mom or whatever, that could impact how you deal with women in the future. Because you might meet a girl, you might be feeling her, and then now you're thinking in the back of your head, well, oh damn, like how's this gonna go if I introduce her to my mom, or should I do this or should I do that? And so now that's what I'm saying, like it's gonna impact that. You feel me? You feel me? But yo, I appreciate you calling in though, man, because and it's not easy to talk about these things too. You feel me? So
Yeah.
I appreciate
Oh
you.
yeah, my bad for you forget, but one more thing too.
Right.
And how long that bad boy membership thing gonna be 24?
It's gonna be until like the end of January. So I'm thinking by around the end of January, early February 2017, the price is gonna go up. So if you guys want to be on the Bad Boy membership and you want the price that it is now, which is $24.97, that means you got to join it before 2017. You feel me? Because after that, it's gonna go up. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna go up there. You feel me? But yeah, definitely, man. But yeah, thanks for calling in, man. I appreciate that.
All right, thanks. Catch you later.
No problem, bro. All right. Cool. So we got the phones popping, people. We got the phones popping. Unfortunately, I got a radio interview I got to do in like 10 minutes. So, I'm gonna have to get out of here in a second. But Ratchet King, do you say your voice sound funny? That's crazy. But listen, guys, I want to thank you guys for listening and tuning in. So the phone lines is working, so we're gonna do this again next week. And you guys can call in. Remember the number is 646-481-3901. You guys can call in and see what's popping, and we could, get this popping again. And remember, guys, make sure you join the Bad Boy membership. Go to badboymembership.com. Join it today so you can get the regular price before the price goes up. And I'll shout out to you guys later. Sora Morgan, what's up? Schaefer, Business One, Ratchet Kingdom, thanks for calling again, my dude. Keep doing your thing. Barber747, Anonymous Person, Atlas. Who else we had up in here? There's a lot of people up in. Darren, Mr. DC Comics, Justin Brown, Royal Illness, Stanley, Rich Royal Official, Clutch Entertainment. Oh yeah, and Clutch, I'm gonna check out your podcast, Fabulito 28, Femdi, Andre K, and all the other people up in the place. Daniel, Jimmy, and there's a lot of people up in here. Bossman 023, Gilberto. I want to thank all you guys and girls and whoever for tuning in, and we'll be back next Friday. So what I'm trying to do is every Friday from 3 to about 5, 3 to 5, 5:30. So that's what I'm gonna try to keep the time to. You feel what I'm saying? I started a little late today. I was running around doing a whole bunch of extra shit, but I'll holler at you guys later. And remember, hit me up if you have any questions at askmrlocario@gmail.com. And I will talk to you guys later. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. I'm gone.